Hi, welcome to West Coast Stackers. Whether you're a stacker, prepper, numismatist, or a silver investor, you've come to the right place. Today, we'll take a deep dive into the world of silver spot prices and explore how to find the best value for your money. By understanding where we are at any given moment in the silver market, we can make the best purchases possible. So hang tight and we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. As a small business owner in Southern California, I understand the importance of maximizing value and minimizing expenses. Every dollar saved can make a significant difference in our yearly profits. That's why I apply this strategy to my silver purchases and ensure I get the most out of my investment. Throughout this season, we'll take a bird's eye view of silver spot prices to improve our understanding of where we are in the market. I use this tool to help me understand where I was jumping into the silver market for my stacking journey, and hopefully you'll find it a useful tool in your toolbox. But before diving into this approach for finding the best price on silver, it's important to understand what type of silver buyer you are. When I started my journey, it took me time to determine what were my motivations and goals for stacking silver. There is just an absolute beauty to silver and gold, and there's something about the feel of silver in your hand. But I also had a deep concern. In the past, I thought the world is stable. Yeah, I know that bad things have happened around the world and continue to happen. But in the Western world, all the essential items were always readily available. Our banking system was secure and sound. However, today, not so much. I have realized just the absolute fragility of our system. And so my primary purpose for stacking silver is not to make a quick profit, but as a store of wealth. One of the reasons I chose silver as a store of wealth is its inherent value as a precious metal. Unlike paper currencies or fiat currencies, silver, like gold, holds tangible worth and cannot be rendered worthless or useless overnight. By keeping silver in my possession, I eliminate the risk of a bank run or sudden loss of access to my assets. My ultimate objective is to accumulate as much silver as possible over the long term, serving as a hedge against inflation and providing a potential means of bartering in case of currency collapse. I do not approach silver stacking as a speculative investor seeking to buy low and sell high. Understanding my purpose as a silver stacker has helped me shape my approach to buying silver and finding the best value. So we have the chart here from moneymetals.com. I'm not affiliated with this group. It's just a free silver spot price chart. Go down to news and resources, scroll down to silver price chart, click left, and we'll have the chart appear below. It's loading now. As we see it now, it is set on a 3-month marker. It extends from March all the way to June 2nd, which is the weekend. A couple of days ago, June 2nd was Friday. The price closing was $23.65. So how do we gain a sense of where we are in this whole market? So one of the ways we have to go is we have to extend out to see a larger scope of what was happening. So we're going to go first to the 5-year mark. 5-year mark takes us back to 2018 all the way to 2023. So what happens with silver prices, silver spot prices, is when there are serious economic crises, silver spot prices tend to go up. Can you predict? There is a lot of volatility still in silver spot prices. But we are at May 2020, just before the pandemic. There was a huge drop in silver spot prices, but there is a huge jump from, I would say the average would be $15, $16, $17 an ounce, jumping up all the way to $27 an ounce in 2020. So the uncertainty was there was the virus for the pandemic. The economy was shut down worldwide. There was the uncertainty. People by the millions in the U.S. were being placed on unemployment. the government was choosing winners and losers, and mom and pop stores, mom and pop businesses were being shut down over the period of this time, 2021, 2022. And so there was a lot of economic instability that caused the rise in silver prices. There was supply and demand issues. There was an inability to actually physically go and purchase silver early on in the pandemic. So there were a lot of economic factors that drove prices up. But these continue to remain elevated. In 21 and 22, we're beginning to see inflation. When I originally studied inflation of the 70s, there were several things that happened. With high inflation, the Fed tends to raise the interest rates to combat inflation. With the raised interest rates of inflation, banks tend to fail. When you change interest rates, increase interest rates, it changes the playing field for banks, and the weaker banks tend to fail. So when there's inflation, interest rates, and bank failures tend to alarm people and drive them to precious metals. So in 21, 22, and into 23, we still have an inflation period. We have higher interest rates, and we even have some bank failures. We've had the Silicon Valley Bank that occurred. We had the Signature Bank in New York, and also Credit Suisse. Although Credit Suisse was international, people in their heads didn't remove this as an alarming economic factor. Then we've also had in May 1st, beginning of last month, was First Republic failure. It was taken over, I believe, by JP Morgan or Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase. And so we are actually in an inflation, interest, and banking crisis. We haven't seen anything lately, but that is what's happening with silver prices. They continue to be elevated in this particular section. We're going to go back, look at the 3-month marker again. So, as I said, I am a silver stacker. What I try to do is get it when it's at its low points. I try to judge them. Lots of times I'm off. I made a purchase. I thought it was going to go lower in March, and I actually didn't get my purchase in until around May 15th. I was at like 21.78 when I made a little bit of a larger purchase. I just did one a few weeks ago. It went down at 22. I thought it was going to go lower, and I actually caught it at 23. But I try to gauge them when they're on the dip rather than when they're at the peak of 26 or 27. But by looking out across all these, we can gain a sense both by what's going on economically, what actual crises we may be in, pandemic, banking crisis, housing crisis. This can affect our buying power with silver spot prices. But it's one of the bases to know in order to get the best value that you're able to get when you're buying silver. Gaining a deeper understanding of the silver spot price charts can provide valuable insights into our position in the economic cycle. We took a very broad look at those factors that affect silver spot prices and painted with a very broad brush. I'm not a financial advisor. I won't make silver spot price predictions. But as you've seen in the chart, we're in a period of elevated prices. Maybe we'll see the price of silver drop below 20 an ounce this summer. But remember, one of the effects of inflation or the decrease in the value of the fiat dollar is prices get baked in. Meaning when prices remain elevated long enough, these prices are the new normal. So it's just a matter of time and we shall see. Thank you for sharing a portion of your day with us at West Coast Stackers. Continue stacking, stay vigilant, and remember the freedom to invest is a fundamental right we must protect.